Hi there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk's Bounty video. Now in this video, myself and my son are going to be opening up some more awesome Star Wars figures. We've got some more from the Legacy collection and from the Saga collection, and it's going to be like a Cantina Aliens themed video, except for one figure which I've been wanting to open for ages and I want to do in this video as well. But 4 of the figures are going to be all Cantina Aliens that I need for my Cantina setup. Some of them are going to include Build-A-Droid parts because they're in the Legacy collection, and I just wanted to put a few of the droids that I've managed to complete already. So we'll see which parts we get and which parts I need to complete the droid. I just wanted to thank everybody that's managed to watch my first episode of Finish the 96. I think I dropped that video on Thursday. It's doing pretty well, and it's a series where I look at all of the figures that Hasbro still need to do from the original 96 to put into the vintage collection. So episode 1 was pretty decent. It went down pretty well with the fans. You seem to like it. Got some really good comments and everything, so thank you so much for that. And as I say, if you haven't checked it out, I will leave a link in the description below and put a little card up there so you can watch it after this video. But anyway, in this video we're going to be looking at Cantina Aliens, and you can see the first one here. This is Ponz Limbic from the Legacy collection, Build-A-Droid line. Can't wait to get this guy open, so let's take a quick look at the packaging. So there he is, pretty awesome image of him there, which looks like it is pretty much straight from the movie, or at least a sort of promo shot of the character there. He's this guy with the big brain. And then the back of the card, there's some other figures from the line. And this one we get the right leg of R2L3. So, little boss, what do you think about this guy?
I like that he's got a big brain.
Right, and what about the accessories? What have we got in there?
The Cantina table.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool that you get the table with the figure. They've managed to squeeze it in there, just in the bubble there, if you can see that. And this guy looks really good, so let's crack him open and take a close look at the figure. Alright then, so here's the Build-A-Droid part, and I do believe that I have the head. You can just see it in there for this guy. That's all I've got from this guy though. One leg and the head comes with a little third foot, a little centre foot. But yeah, obviously I'll try and hunt the other pieces down with the figures. And here's the table accessory. So this comes in 2 parts, and essentially you can see inside the grooves where these little sort of tabs need to go. So it's just going to go like so, like that, and then we'll push it in and it clicks in like that. I'm guessing that once you've done that, you're not really going to be able to get it out because of the clips that go underneath. But that's okay, there's your little table. I guess the only disappointing thing now is that we don't have the seats to go around the table, but I'm sure some diorama builders out there or customizers like Daniel Chart have already done that already. But it's nice to get the table with him, and now let's take a look at the figure.
So here is Ponz Limbic, and he looks cool because he looks like the person actually from the film.
He does, yeah. I think they've done a really, really good job with this one. The Legacy collection rarely let you down. I think they made some really, really good figures from this line, and I'm really enjoying catching up with all of these. I wasn't collecting these at the time, so to pick all these up now and to find that they're still, you know, pretty much up to today's standards, I would say. Obviously there's a few things that you could say about him. He's still got a swivel waist and swivel hips, but he does have knee joints and ankle joints. He doesn't have swivel elbows. He actually does have a hinge at the elbow, and he does have swivel wrists there as well. But the head sculpt's good. Could probably do with a bit more paint on there these days. They'd probably improve that. Bit more detail on the brain and everything, but all the sculpting's there. He looks really, really good. He's got the pattern on his chest and everything. And yeah, this one's going to go very nicely in with all the other Cantina Aliens. Some of them are super, super expensive, but he's got the working holster there for the little blaster which he comes with, which is a pretty cool looking blaster. And yeah, very nice. I mean, at the moment, all of my sort of Cantina patrons are sort of sitting on my sail barge at the moment. I don't really have too much space for my loose collection, so they seem to be inhabiting that pretty well, having a drink on Jabba's sail barge. So there he is. That's Ponz Limbic from the Legacy collection. Alright, next up we're going to be opening Momar Nadon, which is basically Hammerhead. He is part of the Saga collection from, what, 2006, I would imagine. Number 31 in the line. Episode 4, A New Hope, of course. And again, another Cantina Alien that I need for my setup. I was going to wait until they did this one in the vintage collection, but I think this one's going to be far off because I think they're going to have to do an all new sculpt, which means he's going to be a way off, I personally think. But so for now, this one is the best Hammerhead that you can get. And he, once again, comes with a little accessory there. He comes with that little tiny weeny table there, which is pretty cool. I've got one of those with another figure as well. And he comes with the cup as well. So he looks a decent figure. I've always wanted to open this one, so we're going to open this one right now. Back of the card, you get one of those little hologram figures like you always do with these Saga Collection figures. There's a picture of the figure there. You can see him from the movie. And then we've got some of the other figures there. We've got some of these, haven't we, Little Bossk? Which ones have we got from there?
We've got this one.
Yeah, he's a Cantina alien. That's what, Hemdazon, isn't it? Yeah.
And also we've got these two to open up.
We've got two of those to open up in the future videos. Yep, the Luke Skywalker and the Sand Trooper. I think that's a pretty good Sand Trooper as it goes. Obviously he hasn't got today's articulation, but it looks good. And who else have we got on there? There's one more that we've definitely got on there.
Garandan.
Garandan. What a figure that is. Great figure, Garandan. One definitely for the vintage collection in the future. I would love that to be on a vintage card. But here we are with Momar Nadon, Hammerhead, and we're going to open him up right now. Alright, so here's Hammerhead out of the packaging with his little drink and the tiny table that he comes with. And I've got to say, from a sculpting point of view, the figure is really, really nice, but he seriously lacks modern articulation. He has no elbow joints, no knee joints whatsoever, so you're never going to be able to sit him down at the table, which I think pretty much in the film that's all he's doing, is he's just sitting in the corner there on one of those tables. So that's a bit disappointing that you can't do that. He also comes with this sort of bronze staff. What do you think, Little Bossk?
I think he's cool, but also you can take his hood off.
You can, yeah. I was surprised by that. That piece there is a separate heat piece that sort of can lift over his head like that, which I thought was a little bit weird. Not too sure why they did that. There must have been a reason at the time that they did that, but it looks pretty good on him like that, and it's a good looking Hammerhead. I mean, just look at the head sculpt there. It looks really nice, doesn't it? I mean, I personally think that you can't really beat the vintage Kenner Hammerhead as a figure. What a great figure that was back in the day. But, you know, obviously from a modern point of view, they've done really well with this one. The sculpting with his outfit's really great. He's got the belt and everything. Nice paint on his belt buckle. And nice paintwork all over the figure, really. But, as I say, this one definitely needs updating, and I feel this is one of the reasons why they haven't given us this one in the vintage collection yet, because it's one of those figures that needs a brand new figure from top to bottom. So, but in terms of just displaying, standing there on my barge, he's going to look perfectly good. Okay, then next up we have another figure or figures from the Saga collection. Again, from A New Hope, from the Cantina. Said this was going to be a Cantina themed video. And we have here Nabran Leeds and Cabe. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is this cool looking guy here with like the sort of World War I face mask there, like gas mask. I love the look of this guy. He's in his silver outfit. You can get another figure of this guy. I think he was all in white as part of like a 3-pack of Cantina aliens in the Power of the Force line. And Little Bossk, you've seen this guy before as well, right?
He was in a different 2-pack before.
He was, yeah. He was in a 2-pack with like the big white furry guy, which I'm sorry I cannot remember his name right now. But yeah, we have seen that figure before. That is right. So we've seen both of these figures before, kind of. Pretty sure this is a repaint of that figure, but I actually do prefer this silver one here. And he looks awesome. You can see the Cantina in the back there of the shot there, which I love about these Saga collection figures with the big bubbles. But let's have a look at the back of this one quickly, see who else is available. So some pretty cool figures there, and we don't have too many of those really. I think we obviously have the Elite Corps Trooper, but actually, yeah, I don't really have too many of those other ones there.
I've been really wanting this figure for a while.
Yeah, and he was in the Mandalorian as well at some point, wasn't he? I think
yeah.
he was in the Mandalorian Cantina. Yeah, old Dave Filoni bringing him back for a bit of nostalgia. So there we go. Looking pretty cool. Let's open these up and check the figures out. Alright, so there's not too much to say about these guys because they are pretty much just repaints from the Power of the Force, I do believe. They've got very, very limited articulation. No knee joints, no elbow joints on either of the forearms. But the forearms do move. So this arm moves, obviously this arm moves, and these two move as well. I've managed to kind of get the weapon in both hands. The weapon is a very, very strange weapon. Look at that. It's got like 2 handles and this handle there. I'm sure if I messed around it even more, I could possibly get it into some better pose. But let me know in the comments how he's supposed to hold that. But there he is in his sort of like silver jumpsuit. And as I mentioned, I do love that sort of World War I style gas mask. Really, really freaky. And there's his like cone head at the back there with some decent detailing on him. Yeah, he looks like something straight out of the 70s. And what about this little figure?
Cape's kind of like a statue, but he's not, because he doesn't really move that much.
Yeah, his arms move, his head moves, and his waist moves, but he's got this sort of like salt shaker bottom half to him. Basically, it's all moulded in there, you can see. So really easy to stand up, because essentially he's like a little statue. But again, quite good detail on him. I mean, you're not really going to ask for too much better than that from a head sculpt point of view. And again, it's just really for a display aspect in your cantina. I think these two look pretty good. Very, very happy to have those in the collection.
And also Cape has this really cool knife accessory.
He does, yeah. It's a very, very large blade, that. And there it is. And he holds that. So that's cool. Okay then, so on to the next figure, and this is another one from the Legacy Collection, the Build a Droid line, and this one can kind of be classed as a cantina character, although of course he's in many scenes dressed like this, but you know, essentially you could have him sat in the cantina just like this. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course, old Ben, and this figure is probably the best Ben Kenobi that we have to date. Now of course this is another one that needs a desperate update in the Vintage Collection. We need to bring that card back into the Vintage Collection. We saw him in the Vintage Original Trilogy Collection back in, what, 2004 now? So a very, very long time ago. This one was, what, 2009 most probably? 2008, there you go. So still an old figure, still in need of an update. And what's that little accessory he comes with there?
It comes with hologram layer that comes out of R2-D2.
That's right, he does. So you can use him also as the like homestead, Obi-Wan Kenobi homestead figure, which is pretty cool. I think this is the same figure that was included in that multi-pack in the Legacy Collection, where you also got a C-3PO and Luke Skywalker. Something of the Force it was called. I can't remember exactly what it is called now, but pretty sure it's the same Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I haven't actually got an Obi-Wan Kenobi in my loose collection because I've been waiting for Hasbro forever to redo him, but finally bit the bullet and got this one. Obviously I love the figure as well, but it also has the left leg of R2L3, so all I need now is the body for him. I do believe it's probably in with one of these figures here. So there we go, let's open him up and check out the figure. And here's the left leg of the Build-A-Droid. So yeah, just need the body now. That shouldn't be too hard to get, so that's awesome. Alright then, so here he is out of the packaging, and what's awesome about this figure is that you do get the table accessory, and as Little Boss said, you get the little hologram of Leia, which looks great. So you can really depict that scene where R2-D2 is beaming out the hologram there. That's awesome. The figure itself is really, really nice. There's a few little complaints I do have about it. He kind of suffers from the same issues that Darth Maul has, in that his neck is almost like permanently forward. He looks like he's looking down the whole time, which is really annoying. His head is really loose as well. But you can have him looking up, but it's very difficult to keep it staying there really, because it is so loose. But in terms of the head sculpt, there it is. It could be better. It's still pretty good, I've got to say. But of course, you know, I feel they could improve on it. And what do you think, Little Boss?
I think this figure's good enough to go into the Vintage Collection, only if they change his head. Yeah,
I'm kind of agreeing there. I think if they improve the head on this figure, then this figure's almost there. I think he's got elbow articulation, he has the ball jointed shoulders. He does have knee joints as well and ankle joints. So there's a lot to like about this figure. Of course, the Legacy Collection was really good with articulation and everything like that. Some people might not like the soft goods mixed with the hard goods at the top there. The cloak could be on the baggy side, but then again, Obi-Wan's is quite baggy anyway. And this one's been in the packet, so that I need to really straighten that hood out so it's a bit more like that. But as I say, my only real complaint about this figure is the head and the neck joint. It's very loose, and he just wants to look down all the time. You can see it just keeps going down, and that's a bit of a problem for me. Apart from that, he looks great and he looks the part. So yeah, come on Hasbro, if you can just improve upon this figure a little bit, then it'll be pretty awesome. What about his hand there, Little Boss? What's he doing there?
Using the Force.
Yeah, he's got his hand in the shape of doing, and C-3PO's fallen off the table. Yeah, he's got his hand in like the Force movement there, which is pretty cool. So bit of everything with this figure. I do like him. he's got his lightsaber there. That is the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber, and that's pretty cool.
And also with the hologram, there's a little peg on the table to put later on.
Oh, right. Okay, let's have a look at that then. So, take that off. Yep, so Leia's not going to fall off. You're not going to lose that piece. Some nice little pots and cups and stuff on there, which is pretty cool. So, lovely little accessory. Now, of course, they can't really do that sort of thing in the Vintage Collection because the bubbles don't allow for it, the size of the bubbles. And the Legacy Collection really allowed for that. But still, you know, these accessories are nice, and it's a nice touch at the time. But the more I look at this Obi-Wan, the more I like it. I think it's not actually too far off that, you know. Of course, it could do with the photo reel and everything to bring it to life a bit more. But yeah, I'm liking this Obi-Wan. It's good. All right, and the final figure for the video. This is Malakili, or the Rancor Keeper. Now, of course, this has got nothing to do with the Cantina like the other figures have. But I've been wanting to open this figure for ages and ages. I think my buddy Nick, Obi-Wan Kenobi, opened this figure not so long ago as well. And it's at the moment, it is the best Rancor Keeper that we've got. And I suspect that when they come to do the Vintage Collection version of him to complete the 96, they'll use this figure. That's if they can find the moulds. There is a bit of a rumour going around that Legacy Collection moulds are lost, but who knows. Anyway, you get the part there, the left leg of R5C7, and there's some other figures in the line. 3 amazing figures, in fact. You've got the Nikto Gunner, Jiran, and Major Pano. And I've got Major Pano on the way, I hope. That's another great looking figure for the Endor setup. So there he is, Malakili, or the Rancor Keeper. I call him the Rancor Keeper. That's what he was as a kid. And yeah, what do you think, little Bossk? Looking good?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So let's, without further ado, let's just crack him open and take a look at the figure. All right then, so here he is out of the packaging, and I've brought Jiran onto the case to console the poor old Rancor Keeper, because obviously, as we know, spoiler alert, the Rancor met his maker in the Return of the Jedi. So there they are together. They look awesome. Now this one here is a great figure. He's actually possibly one of my favourite figures in the whole 3.75 inch line. He's an amazing figure, and he goes very, very well with this one. So what do you think, little Bossk?
The Rancor Keeper's hat does the exact same as Jiran's. His hat can come off.
It does, yeah. So just like the original Vintage Kenner version, his hat can come off to reveal his bald head, which is how he is packed in the packaging. And yeah, you're right. Jiran does that as well, and his is really loose, which is possibly the only annoying thing about this figure, is that it's super loose. But that seems to be the case on a lot of these green Niktos. But there we go, we'll put that back on, fits really well, nice and snug, drapes over the shoulders. And yeah, I've just waited and waited and waited to pick up this guy. He's always quite expensive on the secondary market, but I thought, whatever, I can't wait any longer. I'm not going to wait for Hasbro to bring him out in the Vintage Collection. So I've got him now, and he's going to go very nicely in that sort of Jabba's Arena Rancor Pit scenario there. And yeah, they just look great together. In terms of articulation, he's got pretty much everything you need. He's got ball jointed shoulders and elbows, swivel wrists. The knees are a bit funny because obviously the trousers, when you split the knees on that hinge there, it looks a bit funny, I'm not going to lie. But that's, you know, how else are you going to do that really? That looks, you know, just a little bit funny there, but I think it just looks better just standing there anyway. So that looks pretty cool. So any last thoughts, little Boss? Do you like all the figures that we've opened today?
Yeah, I like them all, but my favourite was the Hammerhead one.
You like the Hammerhead. Out of all the figures today, I think, it's very difficult to pick my favourite. I do like Ponz Limbic, the first figure that we opened. He's a great Cantina alien. Of course, the Rancor Keeper was much needed, but I've got to say, I'm the most impressed with the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. I didn't think it was going to be that good, and plus you get the accessories as well with the little Leia hologram. That is awesome, with the little table and everything. So I think he impresses me most. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Me and my son love doing these videos where we get to open some older figures for our loose collection. So thank you so much. Don't forget to drop a like down below for little Bossk especially, and we shall see you on the next one.